Ever felt like you're walking on eggshells around someone you love? Or perhaps been blindsided by betrayal from those closest to you? Discover why the deepest wounds often come from the most trusted hands, and how to not just survive, but truly thrive after emotional turmoil. This journey isn't for the faint of heart, but it promises a path to profound peace. Relationships, at their core, are meant to be a source of support, joy, and growth. Yet, sometimes, the very connections we cherish most become the source of our deepest pain. This is particularly true when dealing with emotional or psychological abuse, which can be insidious, hidden, and profoundly damaging, leaving scars not visible to the eye. It's a challenging reality, but understanding these dynamics and committing to a healing path can lead to liberation and a renewed sense of self-worth. This article draws extensively from expert insights and practical frameworks to guide you through recognizing, confronting, and ultimately healing from such experiences, the unseen wounds, understanding emotional and psychological abuse. Emotional and psychological abuse, often referred to as mental abuse, is a serious issue that subtly but severely harms an individual's psyche, self-esteem, and mental well-being. Unlike physical abuse, it leaves no visible bruises or broken bones, yet its consequences can linger for a lifetime, impacting one's entire perception of self and the world. These forms of abuse operate through words, actions, or attitudes that exert mental pressure and cause deep psychological injury. It can manifest in various forms, including insulting language, threats, social isolation, excessive control, and discrimination. The impact of this hidden abuse is far-reaching. Victims often experience a profound loss of self-respect and self-confidence, leading to a state of perpetual fear, anxiety, and insecurity. They may find themselves constantly doubting their own sanity and worth. The lingering effects can contribute to serious mental health issues such as insomnia, anxiety disorders, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, eventually leading to physical debilitation. Beyond the individual, psychological abuse can cast a heavy shadow over family life, negatively affecting all members, especially children. Children growing up in such environments may become insecure, withdrawn, and fearful of interacting with others. They might struggle with relationships. In adulthood, losing faith in love and even developing an aversion to marriage and family life. Some may even mimic the abusive behaviors they witnessed. Recognizing the red flags, signs of a toxic relationship. Identifying psychological abuse can be tricky because its impact is often subjective, depending on the victim's perception. However, there are common signs that indicate you might be in a toxic relationship or experiencing psychological abuse. Constant criticism and belittling. The abuser frequently demeans or criticizes you, often in front of others. They might mock you, dismiss your thoughts, or always find fault with your actions, making you feel inadequate and worthless. Controlling behavior. A toxic person often seeks to dominate every aspect of your life, your decisions, your words, your finances, your time, and even your relationships with others. They might constantly text or call to monitor your activities, demand access to your personal devices, or isolate you from friends and family. Disrespectful communication. Conversations are often laced with sarcasm, harsh criticism, or even yelling. They might dismiss your feelings, joke cruelly, or use threatening body language. They listen to respond, not to understand, and never accept responsibility for their own faults, always blaming you. Jealousy and envy. While a degree of jealousy can be natural in a toxic relationship, it escalates to constant suspicion and mistrust. Abusers may become envious of your happiness or success, driven by their own inner wounds, fears, or past traumas. Lying and manipulation. Lying, even about small things, erodes trust. Abusers manipulate your perceptions, causing confusion and making you doubt your own logic. They might spread rumors or engage in smear campaigns to turn others against you. Imbalance of giving and receiving. You constantly prioritize the abuser's needs and happiness over your own. Your feelings, interests, and successes are dismissed, and they show little concern for anything beyond their desires. You might always be the one initiating contact, apologizing, or doing favors. Feeling exhausted and drained. Feeling drained and exhausted. You spend most of your time in emotional energy on the toxic person, neglecting your own well-being and personal interests. This imbalance leads to constant tension and leaves you feeling utterly depleted. Isolation tactics. Abusers might prevent you from seeing friends or family, or even go so far as to control your interactions with others, leaving you feeling emotionally or physically isolated. Gaslighting. This is a particularly insidious form of manipulation, where the abuser attempts to alter your perception of reality, making you doubt your own memory, sanity, and understanding of events. They might deny saying things they clearly said, or twist events to make you question yourself. Smear campaigns. When direct gaslighting doesn't work, abusers often resort to spreading lies, gossip, and creating conspiracies to turn others against you. Their goal is to isolate you and justify their own abusive behaviors. Flying monkeys. Inspired by the Wizard of Oz. This term describes individuals who willingly or unwittingly do the abuser's dirty work. These are people manipulated by the abuser to harass, spread rumors about, or otherwise harm the victim, often without realizing they are being used. Intermittent enforcement. This tactic involves unpredictable cycles of positive attention and abusive behavior. The abuser might be loving and sweet one moment, then distant and cruel the next, keeping the victim confused and constantly seeking the good phase. This creates a traumatic bond, making it incredibly difficult for the victim to leave. Idealization, devaluation, and discard. This is a common cycle in abusive relationships. Idealization. In the beginning, the abuser presents as the perfect partner, friend, or mentor, mirroring your hopes and dreams to hook you in. This period is often marked by love bombing, where you are showered with excessive positive attention and compliments. Devaluation. Once the abuser has you hooked and dependent, they begin to tear down the very qualities they initially admired in you. This stage is emotionally crushing, as the person who once idealized you now covertly abuses and rejects you. Discard. The final stage is often brutal, where the abuser abruptly ends the relationship, leaving the victim emotionally shattered and discarded. This is not a normal breakup. It's a systematic destruction of your identity and self-worth. The journey to healing. 6 stages of recovery. Recovering from psychological abuse is a complex and deeply personal journey. It's not a straight path, but a process of gradual self-discovery and rebuilding. Experts often describe this recovery in 6 distinct stages. Stage 1. Despair. This is often the starting point where victims seek help, though they may not even realize they've been abused. Life feels chaotic and out of control, marked by emotional turmoil, anxiety, depression, and sometimes even suicidal thoughts. It's a profoundly lonely and exhausting phase, where the victim might be physically and emotionally depleted, feeling like they are drowning without a clear sense of how to surface. They question themselves, asking, "Why can't I fix this?" Or, "Why am I such a mess?" These self-doubts are precisely what the abuser wants, keeping the victim from recognizing the true source of the problem. Stage 2. Education. In this crucial stage, the victim begins to learn about the specific tactics and behaviors of psychological abuse. Understanding terms like gaslighting, smear campaigns, and flying monkeys provides a language to describe what happened, breaking the isolation of their experience. This knowledge is incredibly empowering, as it helps victims realize they aren't crazy or uniquely flawed. Instead, they were systematically targeted and manipulated. This education builds confidence and helps victims see the patterns of abuse. Even when the abuser tries to change tactics. Stage 3. Awakening armed with knowledge from Stage 2. Victims experience profound aha moments. They can now articulate their experiences, connecting the dots of past confusion. This leads to a powerful sense of empowerment and solidarity with other survivors. However, this stage can also bring intense anger as the reality of the abuse sinks in. The awakening isn't linear. There will be good days and bad, moments of clarity followed by waves of despair. Victims may still struggle with wanting to believe the abuser can change or making excuses for their behavior, especially if the abuser is a loved one. The challenge is to confront the painful truth and release the illusion of who the abuser truly is. Stage 4. Boundaries. This is a critical turning point where the survivor actively implements boundaries to protect their emotional and physical space. This might involve setting limits on interactions or, in severe cases, cutting off all contact. The goal is to create emotional distance and detach from the traumatic bond with the abuser. This stage requires immense courage and a willingness to prioritize one's own well-being. It involves making deliberate choices about how to interact, such as delaying responses, limiting personal conversations, or refusing requests that drain your energy. Setting boundaries often feels like a radical act of self-love, and it can be incredibly difficult, especially if it means ending a relationship or limiting contact with family members. The process is highly individualized, requiring careful consideration of personal circumstances and safety. It might involve detached contact, where you maintain some interaction but with strict emotional and behavioral limits, or no contact, which means severing all forms of communication. Both paths are challenging but essential for healing. Stage 5. Restoration. In this uplifting phase, survivors begin to reclaim what was lost during the abuse. This includes restoring financial stability, physical health, emotional well-being, hobbies, and personal dreams. It's a period of actively rebuilding life, often for the first time with genuine hope and vitality. This stage is about learning to live fully again, replacing the emptiness left by the abuser with new passions and healthy connections. It's crucial not to view this as letting the abuser off the hook, but rather as an act of powerful self-preservation and a testament to your resilience. You are literally bringing hope back into your life, often for the first time. This might involve enjoying holidays again, stabilizing finances, improving physical health, which often suffers due to chronic stress from abuse, finding emotional peace, and replacing material items that were destroyed or stolen. Stage 6. Maintenance. The final stage is about sustaining the healing achieved and integrating new skills into daily life. It involves continuing self-care, recognizing new toxic individuals quickly, and consistently protecting oneself from future abuse. Maintenance means living a full, recovered life with confidence and the ability to set boundaries effectively. It's important to remember that this doesn't mean life will be free of challenges or sadness. Rather, it means you possess the tools and inner strength to navigate difficulties without falling back into despair. You become selective about who you allow into your inner circle, understanding that access to your life is a privilege, not a given. This stage emphasizes the new you, a stronger, wiser, and more complete version of yourself, ready to embrace healthy relationships and a life of purpose. Practical steps for recovery and self-protection. Beyond the structured stages of recovery, several practical approaches contribute to healing and self-protection. Embrace self-care and self-love. Taking care of yourself is fundamental to emotional healing. This involves nurturing healthy habits, such as exercising regularly, eating well, and getting enough sleep. When your body is recuperated from daily stress and fatigue, your mood improves, anxiety subsides, and stress is reduced. Self-love means acknowledging and accepting your flaws, celebrating your strengths, and trusting in your own worth. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your unique journey and accomplishments. When you truly love yourself, you heal spiritual wounds and cherish your own being. The power of forgiveness, both for others and for yourself, is a powerful tool for emotional liberation. It's not about condoning the harm done, but about releasing the negative emotions that bind you to the past. When you forgive, you protect your heart, both literally and figuratively, by reducing the physiological stress associated with anger and intense negative emotions. It also lessens the risk of psychological disorders by preventing rumination on painful memories, creating mental space for comfort. Forgiveness can also improve your current and future relationships by allowing for open dialogue, acceptance of mistakes, and rebuilding trust. Moreover, it strengthens your relationship with yourself, fostering emotional self-control and freedom from the negative influence of others' wrongs. The in-right forgiveness process, for instance, suggests 1. Uncovering the hurt. Acknowledge the negative impacts of the conflict on your emotional and physical well-being. 2. Making a decision to forgive. This is a deliberate choice to let go of resentment. 3. Working on forgiveness. Separate the hurtful action from the person. Try to understand their motives and consider your own role in the situation. 4. Discovery and release from emotional bondage. Experience the relief and peace that comes with letting go. Seek support. You don't have to navigate this alone. Reach out to trusted friends, family, or professional counselors and therapists. Sharing your feelings and experiences can provide immense relief and valuable perspectives. Many online communities and support groups exist specifically for survivors of psychological abuse, offering a safe space to connect with others who understand. For severe cases, professional psychological counseling is essential to address trauma, depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues, ensuring you receive tailored guidance and support. Set and maintain healthy boundaries. Boundaries are vital for protecting your space, time, energy, and emotional well-being across all relationships: romantic, familial, platonic, and professional. Healthy boundaries promote self-autonomy, reduce dependency, and foster mutual respect. They help clarify personal responsibilities and distinguish your needs and feelings from those of others. Physical boundaries define your personal space and physical touch preferences. Sexual boundaries ensure mutual respect and consent. In intimate relationships, emotional boundaries protect your emotional well-being by clearly stating topics you're uncomfortable discussing or needing personal time. Material financial boundaries safeguard your personal property and finances by saying no to unreasonable requests or expecting borrowed items to be returned. Time boundaries manage your time effectively by prioritizing personal life and work, refusing engagements that overextend you. Establishing boundaries can be challenging, often stemming from a fear of rejection or a lack of past experience. However, it's a testament to self-respect. Whether through detached contact, maintaining limited, emotionally distant interactions, or no contact, completely cutting off communication, the goal is to reclaim control over your life and emotional landscape. Leverage conflict resolution skills while dealing with an abuser. Traditional conflict resolution might not apply, but its underlying skills are invaluable for personal empowerment and setting boundaries. Active listening. Understand your own feelings and needs, and if appropriate, listen to the abuser's perspective without judgment to identify patterns. Communication. Clearly and calmly articulate your boundaries and expectations. This can prevent misunderstandings and escalate issues. Emotional regulation. Remain calm and composed in disagreements. Take time to process emotions before responding, preventing impulsive reactions that could worsen the situation. Problem solving. Identify the root causes of conflict and brainstorm solutions that prioritize your well-being. Negotiation. In detached contact. This involves finding common ground or acceptable compromises that do not jeopardize your safety or emotional health. When to involve legal help. For severe cases of psychological abuse, legal intervention might be necessary. Laws exist to penalize acts of domestic violence, including emotional abuse, with penalties ranging from warnings to fines or even criminal charges for defamation or public humiliation. Seeking legal counsel can protect your rights and ensure your safety, forcing the abuser to face consequences for their actions. Embracing a new chapter, stepping away from a relationship where you've been deeply hurt, is not just about ending chapter, it's about beginning a new book entirely. This requires building a new life, which may mean cultivating new friendships, finding a different community, or even changing your environment. It's a process of replacing harmful elements with healthy, life-affirming ones. The journey to healing is deeply personal, and there's no universal timeline. It involves dismantling deeply ingrained lies and rebuilding your identity based on truth. It means recognizing that you were targeted for your strengths, not your weaknesses, and that your ability to heal is a testament to your inherent power. In the face of past hurts, remember that your kindness and empathy were never wasted. They are reflections of your beautiful heart. Don't let past experiences define your future or prevent you from seeking the happiness you truly deserve. By embracing self-awareness, courageously setting boundaries, and committing to your healing, you can reclaim your peace, rebuild your self-worth, and cultivate a life brimming with genuine joy and healthy connections. You deserve a life defined by respect, love, and unwavering inner strength.